Hello, gorgeous entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 320, which means you can find all the relevant links and show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/320. In today's episode, I'm going to step you through how to format your business plan. And whether you're into formatting or not, I want you to tune into this one because I'm going to break down a couple of myths and mistakes with business plan formatting, but also help you make your business plan do the best possible job it can for you. So let's dive in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Now, it still surprises me how many people ask questions about how to format their business plan. I get questions submitted through to the podcast, tashcorbin.com/question, if you'd like to submit one, as well as the questions that people ask in my planning sessions and also on social media. And there's still this belief or this question around like, what is the right format? What is the right order? What is the right structure for a business plan? Now, number one, I would say that, sometimes we can get a little bit over focused and fixated on, that exact right thing. And that can create that analysis paralysis or perfectionism and stop you from taking action in the first place. But also, I absolutely get it, because if you are starting to write a business plan and you simply have a blank page in front of you and that blinking cursor of doom waiting for you to type the perfect first words, it can put you in a bit of a frozen state when it comes to getting really clear on what your business plan is. So rather than say, oh, it doesn't matter about the format and just dismissing the question, I want to answer the question, but also look at it through a couple of different angles. So first and foremost, when it comes to deciding the format of your business plan, we want to actually take a step back and ask, what is the role of this business plan for you? There's a difference between a business plan for a large organization with multiple teams versus a business plan for someone who's working solo versus a business plan for someone who works with 3 or 4 team members and they're planning things out over a year in advance. So we need to get really clear first and foremost, what is the job of this business plan? As an online business owner, the first job of my business plan is when I sit down to work on my business, I know what to work on. So everything I do when it comes to business planning is through that lens. Now, there are other roles for my business plan these days. It needs to keep my team up to date on what's going on and where our focus is, but also help my team to make strategic decisions about how to prioritize their own work as well. As well as the business plan helps me to just space out and see how my year is flowing and ensure that I'm not overloading myself, I'm not jamming too much stuff in, and I'm not setting myself up for burnout. So I want you to just have a little think first and foremost, before we dive into the specifics of format and structure, are you clear on exactly what you want this business plan to do? Now, if the thing that you want the business plan to do is get your partner off your back by saying, yes, I do have a business plan, here it is, then that is also a legitimate reason for creating a business plan. Sometimes the people around us require us to conform to their beliefs and structures around what is required for business success, i.e. having a smart business plan, in order for them to relax and trust that you've got it nailed. So even if the only reason you want to have a business plan is because you just want to shut your loved ones up for asking you about your business plan, that's totally cool as well. But why not, in the process of making that business plan, also get it to do that one very sexy job of clarifying, when I sit down to work on my business, what should I work on? Because even a one-page business plan can achieve that goal. In fact, for most online businesses, especially in the early stages, especially if it's just you and up to one team member, All I recommend is having a one-page business plan because you need to be flexible and adaptable to what you learn and discover about your audience, about your products and services, about your marketing strategies as you go, and continuously pivot and adjust and reorganize what that plan is going to look like. So if you're planning 2 years in advance, when you have no idea whether next month's webinar is going to be a good one you want to repeat or not, then you're going to do a lot of work that you just have to do over and over again. So the shorter the term in which you've been in business and the shorter the term that you can predict and plan ahead in your business, the shorter the term your business plan should be. So you can see just by asking, what is the job of this business plan? It will help you to get clarity on how complex the structure needs to be, what the format might look like, and all of those sorts of things. Number 2 is really diving deep into what is the size of your business, what is the stage of your business, and what needs does this business plan meet for your organization, for the business itself. So we've got the role of the business plan specifically for you and the people in your business, but then there's a role of the business plan for the business itself. So is your business large scale with multiple team members who need the business plan in order to be able to communicate with each other and keep each other updated without you having to be part of the process? Does this business plan need to, help you get really clear on how to scale up really big because you're in that intense growth period of your business. And so the business plan needs to really prioritize that scaling. Does the business plan need to help you reduce and limit your work hours because the business is actually creeping back into your personal life? So what does the business plan need to focus on? What are the priorities right now? What size of business are we dealing with? What stage of business are we dealing with? And the great news is that the smaller and earlier your business is, the simpler your business plan can be formatted. The easier it is to create a simple, effective business plan that does that one crucial job. And then the third question we need to consider when it comes to formatting your business plan and how to structure it and what goes inside is to ask the question, what works for you? So if you love color, if you love structure, you might like to create your business plan as a color-coded table. If you love creativity and flexibility, if you're a real wordsmith, you might just do a simple Google Doc and just write down, like, here's what I'm really focused on right now. Here's what my worries are, and you could actually write your business plan as a bit of a story. There are some amazing and really creative ways to create a business plan. Now, the other thing you might want to take into consideration in relation to what works for you is, are you someone who is inspired and ignited by a giant to-do list? Yawn, not me. Or are you someone who works better with very clear priorities and a small list, a teensy tiny list of things? Now, I'm not saying, do you prefer to have a giant list? I'm saying, do you work better with a giant list? Because actually, workplace psychologists have found that the longer our to-do list, the less likely we are to do what's important on that list. The longer the list is, the more likely we're going to go for the unimportant tasks on that list. So think about what actually works for you and what is going to keep you focused on the priorities that are most important for your business right now. So you might think, okay, well, I know that this is my stage of business. This is what I want the business plan to do. This is this format that I want. I want something that's colorful, or I want something that's easy and simple. But how do I actually create that format? Well, I have a starter format for you as your bonus for this episode of the podcast. So if you go to the show notes at tashcorbin.com/320, I will put a link there to my quarterly planning template. And I want to say this is a starter template. So this quarterly planning template has the bare minimum information that you need inside your business plan for it to give you clarity on what you need to work on when you work on your business. and also to keep a simple and refined and prioritized list of outputs that you are going to generate in the next quarter. Now, the template does come with an explainer page as well. So make sure you go and grab that at tashcorbin.com/320. But wait, there's more. Steak knives. No, it's not steak knives. If you are listening to this podcast episode when it drops, so i.e. in September, at the end of September, on the 27th of September, I'm actually going to be running a live quarterly planning workshop. So if you are listening to this when it drops, over with the show notes of today's episode, I will also have the link to the live quarterly planning workshop. Now, if you're listening along and it's beyond the 27th of September, fear not. I'll still put the link in for you so you can watch the replay of it. But if you're able to come along live, then make sure that you do, because you'll be able to ask questions. We'll be able to do your business planning together, and therefore we can make sure it's really relevant to your business, and I can help you if you get stuck anywhere along the way. So it's a super juicy double bonus episode of today's podcast. Make sure, as I said, go to tashcorbin.com/320 for those links. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine, and happy business planning. Bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.